What's going on, guys? Lon here from Android Authority, and we're hanging out at Kyocera here at Mobile World Congress 2015, taking a look at the Kyocera Torque, and this is a ruggedized smartphone. So starting off with the design, you're going to notice it's fairly thick, but that's because of the ruggedized capabilities, which we will talk about in a second here. But it's actually really easy to hold and use in one hand despite of the thickness because it's relatively compact in size. But just get the specs out of the way really quick. You're looking at a 4.5-inch display on the front with 1280 by 720p resolution, and the display also features some really unique things that I'll talk about a little bit later on. But the chipset you're looking at inside is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 610, clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. It's also backed by 2 gigabytes of RAM with 16 gigabytes of internal storage and a micro SD card that supports up to 128 gigabytes of additional storage. It does have LTE, and the battery that you're looking at is a 3100 milliamp hour battery, so it's very large. You should be able to get some really great battery life on this particular phone. The camera comes in at 8 megapixels on the rear, and the front-facing camera is a 2 megapixel sensor. With the operating system, you're looking at Android 4.4 KitKat, and there are some slight customizations that you will find from Kyocera, but it's actually not a very heavy skin, and it does keep a lot of the elements of stock Android, which is really nice. So you should get some really great performance with this device because they've kept things relatively lightweight and slim. Now let's talk about the things that make this phone unique. And the first thing is with the display itself. So this screen is actually compatible with gloves, and it also works when it's wet as well. So that's really awesome, especially if you're in environments where you're wearing gloves a lot, or you're always constantly outside, like a construction work or things like that, and you have to deal with the elements. Having this feature to be able to always interact with your display is really awesome. So I really like that feature of the display itself. And the other thing about this phone, because of its ruggedized nature, it has a military standard 810G rating. So it's protected against dust, shock, vibrations, extreme temperatures, blowing rain, low pressure, solar radiation, salt, humidity, and water immersion. It's also waterproof and dustproof, so it has a IP68 rating, so it's waterproof for up to 30 minutes at a depth of up to 1.5 meters. So that's really great with this phone as well. So all in all, this is a really awesome ruggedized phone for Kyocera. You're also going to find wireless charging built into this device as well. So it's very feature-packed, very feature-rich for a ruggedized smartphone. And one thing that I want to just mention really quickly is Kyocera is working on some solar panels for the devices that will be embedded into the display. The Kyocera Torque currently does not carry this technology, but hopefully we will see this particular technology being brought to the devices fairly soon. And then one last thing I just want to mention with the Kyocera Torque here is that the front, you're going to notice that there's not a speaker at the top, and that's because it actually uses the display to deliver sound to your ear, which Kyocera is calling a smart sonic receiver. So the display actually vibrates to deliver sound and calls and audio to your ears, similar to what we saw with the Sharp Aquos Crystal. But that's really it for the Kyocera Torque. Stay tuned for the rest of our coverage here at Mobile World Congress 2015. There's definitely a lot more to come.